So, Volume 3 happened, and...
Nothing bad ever happened. Ever.
But for real, we weren't sure what Volume 4 was gonna be like. It featured a huge switch in animation programs from Poser to Maya, and with Team RWBY divided and the ending darker than anything we could have imagined, we had no idea what to expect for the future. It was more of a transition into Volume 5 than anything else, and it didn't quite live up to our expectations. But it was enjoyable nonetheless. It's essentially the Volume 1 of the story's second overall act, which actually explains everything. So without further ado, let's get started. Spoilers beware. God, we've got a lot of new people this time around. First, we've got everyone's favorite adorable farm boy, Oscar, who kinda steals a page out of Kingdom Hearts, leaving his nameless, faceless aunt behind without even having dinner. Seriously, Sora, call your parents. Salem's cronies, Dr. Professor Watts, kinda not as important but still kinda threatening Hazel, and the cray-cray Tyrion, who has a double life as a popular gay ice skater.
We were born to make history.
It does explain his figure, though. A cute waitress who Tyrion probably murdered, a fun ship captain, and a ragtag crew who I totally want a mini-series on to follow their various misadventures on the high seas. Blake's parents, Gira and Kali, who I absolutely adore, oh my god. The creepy Albane bros, who I refuse to care about, please get off the screen, you creepy-ass f***s. Blake's old friend and maybe ex-girlfriend, Ilya, who's also a chameleon and also Sailor Venus.
Sorry I called, but there was no answer, so I just came over.
Venus, that is me.
Wife's father, Jacques ass, her brother Whitley the her nameless absentee, probably alcoholic mother, and her actual father and cake butler, Klein.
There's my happy little snowflake.
Thank you, Klein.
Klein is best, Mom. Discount Walmart Neptune Henry Marigold. Seriously, why did he get a full name? Ren's parents, Lee and On, who totally aren't about to die to give Ren a Batman complex. No, they are living happily together in their quaint forest village, and Ren is going to visit them. Dear God, stop killing the nice people show! And this freaky abomination of nature, and his horse. I did not sign up for a horror movie, guys. So we start off with the Evil League of Evil's boardroom meeting in this world's version of hell. Because of Ruby's silver eye powers running loose, Cinder has lost one of her eyes and has severe scarring and can barely talk. And you are damn right I am happy about this. This is what you get for killing my little peer, you evil bitch. Enjoy the ball now without your depth perception. Good luck with the prince stubbing your toe. Salem sends her little minions out on different errands. Watts is headed to meet with an informant in Mistral. Hazel is sent to deal with the White Fang, and Tyrion, who was hunting for the Spring Maiden, is now sent after RWBY to bring her back. Alive. But you could totally kill the others. We sure he's not one of the flying monkeys? We then cut to farm boy Oscar for a solid 2 minutes. Dear Lord Why, be real, we've got a lot of ground to cover, so we'll do each storyline in one chunk. Sound good? Okay, let's go. Oscar starts hearing voices, and it turns out it's Ozpin. Oz is like, hey, you the chosen one, now go save the world. And Oscar's like, okay. And they head off to Mistral without even a f***ing word to his fam. Oh, what a caring young lad. Real talk though, he is adorable. Yang is back on patch, still dealing with her trauma of losing her arm.
Adam Taurus was present for the attack. Any and all attempts to bring him into custody have been met with brutal force.
You too, universe. But Yang's got major PTSD, so even when Ironwood sends her a new bionic arm, she doesn't want to put it on immediately. But in time, with the help of her father Tai, Yang tries it out and gets to training, and then immediately is ready to head out into the world again. Yeah, that went fast. Anyway, Weiss is stuck in her manor in Atlas with her family, where it looks like she can't figure out basic directions. Seriously girl, you were headed the other way. I know we needed a dramatic camera angle on your family portrait, but you should not need a GPS to navigate your own home. Jacques is holding a charity concert for Vale to help his public image, and forces Weiss to sing, and Weiss gives a lovely performance. #savage. But when people start blaming Vale for the fall of Beacon, Weiss loses her damn mind and accidentally manages to summon a Borbatus Grim. Ironwood comes to the rescue and agrees with her, but Jacques ain't having it. I want him dead. Jacques gives Weiss title of heiress to Whitley, and Whitley rejoices.
It's foolish not to do as father asks.
He is a demon. Weiss continues her training. How did Jacques not take her sword? And manages to escape with the help of Klein with, like, no problems at all. Why did she not do that in episode 1? And how did she do this in heels? Like, girl, you know your floors are marble, and these hallways echo like crazy. Also, she summons the knife from the white trailer. God, my baby has come so far! Blake goes home to Menagerie to see her parents, and Sun tags along after stalking her for an undisclosed amount of time. Dear God, why? Blake apologizes to her parents, who are the sweetest people on the planet. Oh my God, I love them. And has some genuinely touching moments with them. Too bad Sun's gotta wreck them.
No concept of privacy, no respect for personal space.
I swear, we need a slap count for this show. But Ilya is spying on Blake once the Albane bros notify Adam that Blake is back in Menagerie. Blake and Sun catch up with her and manage to get her phone, but Sun is injured. Blake breaks down, but Sun reminds her that bitches gotta stick together. On the phone, they learn that Adam and his extremist Splinter Cell are planning to take over the White Fang and attack Haven Academy. And so, Blake is set on taking the White Fang back.
We're not going to destroy the White Fang. We're going to take it back.
Yeah, you go, girl. You don't really have a plan, but I will support you anyway. Woo! And now the real screen hogs. Team Ranger.
1, 2,
Oh my god, for sake, Ranger is better. Don't make me call you asshats, Team Orange. But Ruby and the crew are off on a not quite yellow brick road to Mistral through random villages, and Crow's watching over them, trying to maintain distance because of reasons we shall explore later. But Tyrion manages to catch up and attack, nearly managing to capture Ruby. Crow gets into the fight but is poisoned by Tyrion's venom. Ruby takes advantage of the slow motion and... Oh, we went there. Oh,
You bitch!
hey, watch your language, whore! But Tyrion runs away and becomes even crazier, while Team Ranger,
Junior is way cooler.
off, cares for Crow. Crow catches them up on the Maidens and what happened at Beacon, then tells them a story of a god of light and darkness, and the Dragon Ball, relics. Yes, relics. We also learn that Crow's semblance brings bad luck to the people around him, hence why he's tried to keep a distance between himself and Ranger. But the poison takes hold and Crow ends up passing out. Team Ranger splits up. Nora and Ren head for the nearest city through the mountains to get help, while Ruby and John take Crow into the nearby abandoned village of Kuroyuri to look for medicine. A terrible plan, yes, but since this is basically a horror movie with the creepy Grimm tailing them, perhaps they've been cursed with the stupidity of horror movie protagonists. Next thing you know, they'll be running upstairs from the killer. It was a noble sacrifice, you bitches! In the process, though, we learn Ren's backstory. He was from a small village called Kuroyuri, the exact same village that Ruby and John are in. What a coinky-dink. Living with his parents, An and Lee, and oh my god, baby Ren and baby Nora, oh my god, precious! I mean, they don't really explain why Nora's there since she's based on Norse mythology, while this part of Mistral is more Asian, but f*** it, let's just go. The Neclavy, that horseman of the apocalypse Grimm, attacks Kuroyuri with a horde of Grimm, and the village is destroyed. But don't worry, in the words of Chibi Nora, everything's fine. I'm Batman. The Beast attacks again, and a reunited Team Ranger, after a heartfelt moment between Ren and Nora,
If we don't...
manages to defeat it. The smoke from its corpse is noticed by traveling airships, and the team is taken to the city of Mistral. Crow is A-okay, and Ruby writes a letter to recap her adventure with everything she's learned, in true anime protagonist fashion. The true OTP is together, everyone's on their way to Mistral, and no one died, aside from that one guy and a bunch of flashback people, but let's keep our eyes on the prize! Everything is looking up.
Salem always did say you were quite hospitable.
Thanks, Rooster Teeth, you really know how to make my day better! Volume 4 marked a huge shift in terms of storytelling, setting, tone, and even animation with the switch from Poser to Maya. The primary issue is the balancing between all the different storylines. Weiss, Yang, and Blake especially feel like they have their stories significantly trimmed. Honestly, all we needed of Oscar was that post-credit scene with Crow, and then we could have Oscar scenes featured in Volume 5. Yang's arc I feel suffered the most. It's done well up till the part she puts on her arm, and then after 4 episodes of nothing to do with her, she's suddenly all better and back to her usual fighting self. We don't see her still struggling with her traumas getting back into the action. Hopefully we'll see more of that in Volume 5 to compensate, but I am disappointed that the middle of her arc just seems to be missing entirely. Weiss' storyline functions, but the climax with her leaving the manor with no one stopping her is anticlimactic, to say the least. Why couldn't she have done this earlier? And seriously, why did Jacques not take her sword away? You'd think if he wanted to keep her under lock and key, he'd take away her most valuable tools for escape. Also, where is Weiss' mom? Does she even have a name? Yeah, we're all certain she's an absentee alcoholic who may or may not be cheating on Jacques. Who can blame her? But even a glimpse of her drunkenly walking around the manor or just sleeping all the time would be appreciated. And while I do hate Jacques, Widley honestly seems like the more competent antagonist for Weiss. Jacques just seems like a toddler having a tantrum every few minutes, not this charismatic businessman who's ruthless in keeping an ironclad grip on his fortune. He's not as threatening to Weiss as they made him up to be. Don't get me wrong, he is abusive. And Weiss crying in Chapter 7 after having her title revoked genuinely hurt, but I think Jacques needed something else to make it much more of a threat in Weiss' storyline. I enjoy Blake's storyline, though it does bother me how aggressive she gets with Sun with the slapping. I get that she wants to be alone, but would Blake really resort to physical violence like that? Don't answer that question. But I love Blake's parents. They're sweet and understanding, and I just wish there was more of them. My one complaint is that Blake was able to get into Beacon Academy with no one realizing she's the daughter of the White Fang's former leader and the current leader of Menagerie. Honestly, with Gira and Collie's names, I'm surprised they legit have the last name Belladonna. I think it would have worked better with Blake using Belladonna as a fake last name. Team Ranger's story is the most solid, besides them throwing the map away like f***ing morons. Like, Jesus, you guys don't need to throw away the map like that, and you can easily go back and get it. But I enjoyed the brief encounter with Tyrion, and the build-up to the Nuclavy, and I like that this ended with no one dying, except minor unnamed characters, but oh the well. It proves the show isn't always going to be as dark as Volume 3, and I love that. It really reminds me of the tone of Avatar: The Last Airbender. My main issue with Ranger's storyline is that Ruby doesn't seem to have as large a focus as Jean and Ren. The camera especially seems to keep focusing on Jean, emphasizing his importance when it should be focused on Ruby. She has nightmares about Pyrrha, but we don't really see her dealing with her trauma. It's almost like it never happened, so while I like her speech at the end, it didn't resonate with me as I feel it should have. Also, why didn't Team Ranger just take a train to Mistral like Oscar? They could have at least taken horses like Amber did. I mean, it didn't end all that well for her, but it's worth a shot. Though the story of the gods of light and darkness is meh. I didn't care for it at all. It feels very generic, and I hope it's not actually true. As for the relics, I don't have that much of a problem with them, especially since weapons are a huge crux for the series. I just hope they end up having these amazing powers and aren't solely MacGuffins. Though I'm not sure on the relation between the maidens and the relics. Like, are they equally strong in terms of power, or are the maidens like tanks, whereas the relics are like full-on nukes? Overall, I love the change in animation. It looks so much better, and environments like the forests of Mistral, the town of Kuokuana, and the Shani Manor look amazing with the new software. My gripe is with the fights. While the Volume 3 fights weren't on the same level as the fights of Volumes 1 and 2, they were still enjoyable. The Volume 4 fights, with the exception of Crow versus Tyrion, just seem slow and lackluster. Not to mention there's a noticeable lack of actual fights. That's understandable given this story is supposed to be bigger on story and world building, but I hope there will be more well-made fights for Volume 5, especially with how good the fight in the Weiss character short looked. The fight in Episode 3 with the Sea Dragon especially looks odd. Blake and Sun just seem to be and not in the good way. I love the monster's design, and I like the ship captain, but this fight just doesn't seem all that well choreographed. So all in all, Volume 4 is probably my least favorite volume so far. It's just not as strong as the ones that came before it. It seems like this volume is more experimental in the long run than anything else, which is understandable so long as it's used to make the future volumes even better. Its story is solid, though oddly paced and missing some vital moments here and there that keep it from being great. The animation is a feast for the eyes, though I can't say the same for most of the fights. But let's be real, the best parts of this volume are Renora confirmed, Crow vs. Tyrion, Weiss roasting Jawcass, and the soundtrack. Dear God, This Life Is Mine is so good! And now it's time for everyone's favorite funny moments section, and we can also use it to critique the more questionable moments from this volume. New volume, who dis?
Personally, I think I'm more of a Warrior's Wolftail kind of guy.
Did Sokka give you tips on that one?
Won't be needing this.
I'm making emotional cat noises for Blake without meaning to. Seriously, I don't know if these things are legitimately racist to cat faunus, but it's starting to worry me.
He's afraid of mice.
They bring only disease and famine!
I hope that doesn't carry over to mouse and rat faunus, because I think that legit be racist. Paint me like one of your French girls.
Make this one a double.
We all gonna need it after this.
We're all going to die.
And which we are you referring to?
Literally all of us. I said we all, you f***ing bitch.
I was hoping you could help me find someone.
Actually, the bar is closed. Get the f*** out.
We should search for survivors.
Stop dropping the map.
How much farther?
Without the map, there's no way of knowing.
Gee, I wonder what we could have done to have avoided that.
We can split up.
Sorry to interrupt this tender family moment.
Son, you little shit.
I really don't like you.
You and half the fandom. This I will allow because I love Blake's parents. Awfully drafty, this old house. And now, a word from the me of the past on the Volume 5 theatrical premiere. Or the future. I'm not sure what this counts up, but fuck it. Yeah, all mysterious and crap. Listen, guys. Sorry if I'm all quiet and the audio quality is crap. I literally just got home from the theater a while ago. Been, recounting my thoughts. And it's midnight where I am, so yeah, don't worry about spoilers. I'm not gonna spoil it, but oh my god, it was so good. Oh my god, they packed so much content into 23 minutes, and the opening was so good, and oh my god, and oh god, I'm already thinking of what the Volume 5 review is gonna be like. Oh my god. Okay, so I should have, it comes out for first members Saturday, and it comes out for everybody else Tuesday, so what I'm probably gonna do is try to get a review video out Wednesday, the day after it comes out for everybody, it's probably not going to be as well made as like these reviews, because these reviews would kill me if I had to do them this much, but like, you know, and then I'll be doing reaction videos the following Saturday. So yeah, it was so good. Now I'm on Volume 5 withdrawal. Oh my god, this is gonna be a good fucking season. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Enjoy the review? Glad to hear it. Want to murder me to release your anger, then sacrifice me to the internet gods? Hit the dislike button. It's still interaction. I've got a Kingdom Hearts 1 review and retrospective set for next Friday, plus reactions and reviews of RWBY Volume 5 as it comes out, so feel free to subscribe and stay tuned. You can follow me on Twitter at Unicorn of War, Tumblr is the RedStar1126, Instagram is Unicorn of War, and read my reviews and editorials on my WordPress blog, Unicorn of War. I've also got a personal WordPress blog, Ramblings of a Caffeinated Writer, and a gaming channel called Unicorn of War Gaming. I'm the Unicorn of War, and this has been a shit show.